Hello everyone. I, Forum Patel from LG School of Law, would like to extend my warm welcome in this session of the self-regulation versus legal regulation under the media law. Now, in the previous sessions, we discussed about many different segments which are covered under the media law. Now, in this session, we have to discuss what about the self-regulation and the legal regulation. In the last session, we discussed about the ethical issues with regard to the media segment. Now, as there is no absolute right of freedom of speech and expression, it is sure that the state regulates the functioning of media under any of the circumstances. The Constitution also is giving the right only to the citizens according to Article 19 sub 1A. Non-citizens prosecuting media operations in India will have no constitutional safeguard available. While the print media is under the ownership of the private citizens of the country and subject to all kind of the legal control, the foreign citizens sponsored media operations are subject to much more state power, including the Department of External Affairs. Now, when it comes to the questions of the self-regulations versus legal regulations, as we discussed in the last session, that media plays a very vital important role when we are talking about the ethical issues. It is self-governing, of course. Now, electronics media, or let it be the print media, the case would not be different. Law of the defamation, contempt of court, official secrets, contempt of legislation, sedition by any other restrictions reasonably imposed by according to the Constitution of India. It can control the print and cinema media, but regulations of the television and internet is not at all that easy. Even the regulated media sections have also wide areas where the regulation cannot reach. For example, when the ethical issues is there, when the internal control is there, when the reporting or communal riot reporting is there, when the campaign is there in process, when the corporation journalism is there, legal regulation cannot take care of every activity, and it can never take the responsibility of the proper functioning of every area of the media operations. Appointment of different persons, their duty, it takes a lot of strategies and it takes a lot of policies to be required. The Press Council of India is meant for protection of certain professional standards and adjudication in a quasi-judicial capacity, that grievances by and against the press persons. This council also works out to be an additional restriction and regulatory control over the independent media activity. However, this council needs to be expanded to play the similar role with regard to the other medias. Now, we need to make the Media Council of India when we are talking about the self-regulation and legal regulation. Different aspects and different issues which are arising out of the media segment, they are governed legally, of course, in different or through different laws, as we saw in the previous sessions. But when it comes to having everything together under one roof, we do not have one single law. So friends, does that mean that we do need to have one authority or rather one legislature which would govern the whole segment? The answer to that would be yes, of course, in my opinion. It has also been noticed that each media organization should have an integral ombudsman set up to settle several problems in the budding stage itself. They then have to develop a policy or rather a code with a widely discussed and deliberated list of the do's and don'ts to enforce the uniformity of the style and ethical functioning in the media segment. Besides this, the Working Journalist Union, the editors, the owners and every other developer who are there relevant with this segment, they need to perfect the norms and they need to guide with the proper codes to govern the situations with their experience. They will be very helpful in deciding the whole self-regulation versus media regulation code. These should be containing general principles of the objectivity or rather fairness, impartiality or truthful information dissemination, etc. In almost all the codes, the safeguarding unity and security of the state, protecting the minorities, needs to refrain from the calumny or unfounded accusations or intrusion of the privacy or duty to provide the right to reply. Other factual situation if involving the allegations also from the fact reporting. The emphasis must be on the professional ethics and internal discipline. That means, my friends, the whole code of the ethics should be there, regulating the whole media governance or media segment must be there, in my opinion, to govern the whole issue with regard to self-regulation versus legal regulations. This does mean that we need to have an independent authority governing the whole media segment and covering all the possible aspects that may be covered under the media as we discussed till now. So friends, this was all about the media and the self-regulation versus legal regulation issues. Now, as we all know that human rights are always there, it is not in existence in abstract. They have to be agitated for. When it comes to media's role in protection of the human rights, how can we forget to discuss media and human rights concept? So friends, let's get started with the discussion of the next concept, that is media and human rights. How human rights cannot be relevant when we are talking about media. There are so many segments, there are so many group of people who will be connected with this issue. They have to be asking for it. Especially in a democratic setup like India, social action of group of people, of the citizens, they should ask for the enforcement of the human rights and prevention of their violations. Now you must be having that question in your mind, that how media would be violating the human rights. Friends, let's think about it for a moment. Media has a very specific role in playing for the protection of the human rights. It may sometimes violate the same also. When it comes to the issue of the privacy, think about it. Media is trying to do the role. The journalists, they are trying to do the role. They're trying to find out the facts to give it to you, of course. But while doing so, what if they violate your human right? What if they violate the privacy? Whether privacy can be considered as a human right or not? Of course it can be. So that means media has a very specific role to be played when they are protecting the human rights in the whole segment. Media can becoming the whole awakening force when the consciousness of the rights needs to be there for not violating any of the other rights. Media can become the catalyst in bringing the sea change in the human rights sensitization, even the jurisprudence and executions of certain reforms. I do agree with the point of view that we do have very good laws to govern the whole segment. Progressive legislations are there to protect the rights of various sections, but they are not being effectively enforced. They corrupt the administrative mechanism and prosecuting the agency. It misuses the powers, also the laws. It harasses the innocents to extract money from the victims or to help the perpetrators of the wrong for a price, of course. It is under this situation that people have to raise their voice and fight for the justice. People can form into pressure groups to force the establishment to take the correct actions. How can they do that? They have to do this social initiative with the help of the media. That means, my friend, media can become supportive when it comes to having the human rights, or rather conducting the human rights efforts. So we did talk about two different aspects when it comes to media and human rights. How is it violative, or rather how is it supportive? There are many other segments under this concept that can be discussed. Criticism from the opposite always would be there. The parliament also has certain powers along with the certain duties. The same way, media also has certain powers along with the certain duties that everybody needs to fulfill. It is up to, of course, the social justice lobbying, yet another powerful opinion, which in the absence of which the sufficient financial sources would not be there. So to have the perfect and successful social and economic justice at work, media needs to play the authentic and ethical role that they are supposed to be playing. Personal and political right from the important parts of the human right needs to be discussed. Certain personal human rights are basic, like life and personal liberty, which would include the right of the freedom from detention without trial, right to freedom from torture, right to freedom from extrajudicial execution, or right to subsistence. Now, without these rights, no other rights are meaningful. Sometimes people experience repression from the different regimes, a wave of killing and disappearance followed by larger number of the people being arbitrarily detained, tortured and released by the primarily force. Now, does that mean that media would not be playing any role in this? If you think so, the media would be having a very supportive role in this. Media can get to the public, media can become the eye and the ears for all the other systems and all the other pillars in our country to provide the correct justice and to protect the human rights. So friends, if you think media and human rights is a sea vast subject that to be discussed along with different aspects, these are the main highlights about the media and human rights issues. Friends, in the next segment, we shall be talking about the issues with regard to the entry of the foreign print media in our country. Till then, stay tuned and keep learning.